Hey, I'm gonna hopefully do a couple of videos today, and both of them are gonna be viewer requests. So thanks again for passing those requests along. It's great to see people that are putting forward interests that apply to their own lives, which will also apply to others. This one is from Stay Classy, so thank you for passing it along. And it is regarding public speaking. So with this, I found it interesting because it does ring a bell in my life. The notion of public speaking for me, and again, I'm just speaking experiential on this particular video. I won't be going too much into the background of MBTI types, but as an INTJ, I find that it was initially very difficult for me to be in a public speaking role. So a perfect example is the last class I needed to graduate from my university degree was one that included orating in front of my peers and getting evaluated. So that in itself, I believe, from my perspective as an INTJ, is difficult because most of the time, for myself, I am already auditing my performance internally. So to have other people critique on something that I already am quite afraid of makes it even more difficult to get in front of people and actually execute to the level that I want to, because it wasn't a skill that I had. And also I had quite a strong feeling of issues with going and standing in front of people in public. So as we've talked about before, a lot of INTJs, we tend to want to be in the shadows. We want to influence and drive towards change and optimization. However, we don't want to be the person that's standing in front of everyone who is the mouthpiece for that particular change. So having an entire class that is dedicated to the subject that I had the most issues with was really difficult. And that particular class, I quit. I dropped out. I couldn't do it. I was a mess. I was sweating and I would have panic attacks and I couldn't even prepare anything because I had enough issues with trying to put together an argument that I could actually handle in front of people that their job is to critique me, let alone be able to execute it to the level that I wanted. So those folks in Toastmasters that can just go and they thrive off it, I give kudos to, because that's something that is a skill that there's a reason why there's Toastmasters. So anyways, getting further into it, I dropped it. And what I found is that this opportunity again raised its ugly head in learning to deal with addressing my issues with speaking in public. When I was challenged with a particular job that I was interviewing for, and they had a 1 week interview process. It was very specific, and you were competing amongst 6 other people for the spot. And what I found in that particular situation, usually I would have gone in and been freaked out and I would have just not continued on. But that particular time in my life, I really needed to have that position for the family, and I actually came into a really good tool for myself. It was the whole fake it till you make it. So when I say that, it's not that you're being fake. What I found is that I really tapped into the actions speak louder than your mental thoughts, where in my head I was, say, scared about doing it, but the need to get this position was more important at the time. And so the whole thing where you decide, you self-talk and say, I can do this. This is the easiest thing ever. For sure I can do this, even though at the time you're scared. But just simply saying that out loud or to myself and acting the confidence role that I needed to portray, especially for this position, I actually got somewhat rid of the fear of speaking in public. And it ended up being a great tool, because obviously in a career, a lot of careers, you're going to end up having to do quite a bit of speaking, presenting, that type of thing in front of people. And it's something that is definitely a skill that will help you leverage yourself moving forward in your career. And yeah, so it was something that, it was amazing. It was one of those moments in life that you remember specifically that situation and the time in your head saying, I can do this. And the INTJ side of me, which was driven and focusing on the big picture, took over and allowed me to step outside of the analytical side and actually execute on something, and actually created a new skill for me. So I hope that helps. It was basically just wanting to give a quick highlight on my experiences. Your people that have public speaking fears are definitely not the minority. And also, I should have a caveat. It's not that I will sit there and go and ask to do public speaking, but the big point is that I'm not going to turn it down either, if that's something that needs to be done. So anyways, look forward to hearing if other people are also dealing with struggles regarding public speaking. And again, hopefully I'll get another video out today. Thanks so much.